You may not believe it, but there is an ancient practice capable of transforming your face, your posture, your magnetism, without you having to spend a penny on gym memberships or cosmetics. Does it sound like internet chatter? It may seem like it, but the results speak for themselves. The truth is simple. Semen retention can make a man visibly more handsome. It is neither an exaggeration nor a miracle. It is biological science added to the forgotten wisdom of the ancients. But there is one detail that almost no one talks about. How much more beautiful you become depends directly on how long you can retain your vital energy. Some notice changes within a week. Others, in 30 days. And there are those who, at 90, look like someone else. The question is not just time, but what you do with that energy. And in this video, you will understand exactly what happens in your body, your face, and even your eyes when you stop wasting your creative strength. Maybe you think this is nonsense, or even dangerous. After all, the media taught you that withholding is repressing, which is not good. But what if I told you it was just the opposite? That what is taking away your shine, your vitality, and even your respect, is precisely the lack of control? If you've ever wondered why some men seem to have an irresistible presence, even without being the most handsome, perhaps the answer is here, right under your nose. What comes next could completely change the way you see your own body. And if you have the courage to apply what you learn, you will discover that true beauty doesn't come from the mirror. It comes from the energy you decide to save or waste. And most importantly, I will show you how far can this beauty evolve, with examples, proofs, and real paths. There are people who think that attractiveness comes only from genetics or clothing style, but there is something much deeper behind this. Semen retention has attracted the attention of many precisely because it changes this equation. When a man decides to contain his vital energy, the body reacts as if it were in preservation and growth mode. The posture changes, the gaze becomes firmer, the magnetism increases naturally. It's not just charm, it's accumulated energy manifesting itself in an authentic way. And this is something that even the people around us feel, even without knowing how to explain it. Science may even try to measure this with hormones and body signals, but the truth is that there is a glow that you can't fake. Men who practice semen retention report a visible improvement in their skin, hair, voice, and especially their presence. We are not talking about magic, but about real change from the inside out. The body stops spending energy on quick pleasures and starts channeling everything into regeneration and vigor. Have you noticed how monks, high-level athletes, and spiritual leaders carry a different aura? Many of them do exactly that. The most interesting thing is that attractiveness is not just about aesthetics. It's also about emotional presence and mental clarity. When a man stops being distracted by constant stimuli, he becomes more focused, calmer, more assertive. And this is something that naturally attracts both women and opportunities. Semen retention moves the energy of need away and brings the energy of purpose closer. And let's face it, there's nothing more attractive than someone who knows where they're going. A simple example. Try spending 21 days on semen retention, maintaining a self-care routine, quality sleep, clean eating, and physical exercise. At the end of this period, you will probably be recognized by people as someone different, without having to say anything. Your energy will do the work for you. And if you want to enhance it even further, include meditation and reading books like The Way of the Superior Man or Think and Grow Rich. The combo is powerful. Now, if you're thinking that this is all an illusion or that it doesn't make any difference, it's because perhaps you haven't yet felt what it's like to live with your energy fully. When you withhold, you take back your inner throne. And then you start to notice changes that go far beyond appearance, changes that even resonate in your lifestyle. But this leads us to an even more intriguing question. Does everyone feel the same effects? Not everyone starts at the same starting point when they embark on the path of semen retention. This needs to be said clearly, because many people compare themselves and end up frustrating themselves for nothing. Genetics and previous lifestyle matter a lot. A guy who has always had a balanced diet, exercised, and doesn't abuse pornography will notice the benefits much faster. Those who have spent years immersed in destructive habits will have to be more patient. But calm down, results come, as long as there is consistency. It's like a recovery run. Whoever is more broken will take longer to rebuild the internal temple. And this reconstruction will require more than discipline, it will require faith. Not blind faith, but that which is born from the repetition of small successes. If genetics has put you at a disadvantage, lifestyle can change the game. What was once a weakness can become a strength. The question is, are you willing to pay the price? Take two men with different stories. One who started masturbating at 11 and another who had a balanced sex life until he was 25. The first may take months to regain the sparkle in his eyes, his disposition, or his focus. The second can see changes within weeks. But they'll both get there, as long as they keep up the pace. This proves that the semen retention journey is highly individual, and no one should measure their progress by anyone else's yardstick. If you are a man looking for more energy, focus, and self-control, I have prepared a powerful ebook that will show you how semen retention can transform your life. Link in the first pinned comment. If you come from years of excess, there's no point trying to be a monk in a week. Start by getting the basics right. Drink clean water, sleep well, cut out refined sugar, stop watching porn. Then, gradually increase retention. 3 days, 7 days, 14 days. Each cycle will be an internal victory, and the body will reward you with more clarity and vitality. All of this can be even more effective if you use the practice of journaling, writing down your feelings and learnings daily. Ultimately, what matters is not where you came from, but where you are going. Semen retention is a tool for polishing the being, and like any rough stone, each man requires a different type of polishing. And you know what's most curious? Sometimes, those who started further back end up going further. But this is a detail that will make even more sense when we talk about the direct impact of retention on visible changes in the body. There's something fascinating that happens to those who practice semen retention for a long time. Their face changes. Literally. It's not an exaggeration or mystical belief. It's a noticeable change even for those who don't understand anything about the subject. The eyes become more alive, as if they had been washed from the inside. The skin tone improves, losing that tired, pale, lifeless appearance. And all this without using any cosmetics or filters. It is the body itself, by holding its essence, that begins to restore itself completely. Have you ever noticed how some people look loaded, even when they are young? It is often excessive sexual stimulation, compulsive masturbation, and poor sleep that erase the natural glow. The constant release of semen takes a toll, and it is high. When the body is forced to replenish vital energy without stopping, there is little left for cellular regeneration. The result? Dark circles, haggard face, collagen-free skin, defeated expression. But when the source is protected, the body thanks you with visible youth. Men who maintain semen retention for 30, 60, 90 days begin to notice more defined facial contours. The cheeks gain tone, the eyes shine more intensely, and even the teeth appear whiter. Yes, there are reports about this. The explanation: less inflammation in the body, more hormonal balance, more presence of natural testosterone circulating. It's an energetic lifting, a rejuvenation that you can't buy in an aesthetic clinic. If you want to speed up this renewal process, combine retention with a cold shower, daily sun exposure, at least 15 minutes, and simple facial exercises, such as the face yoga technique. It also helps a lot to maintain a diet rich in minerals. Foods like avocado, Brazil nuts, free-range eggs, and dark leaves. They are simple, affordable, and boost the glow of your face. Remember, your face is the mirror of your internal energy. And the most interesting thing is that this change doesn't just attract curious looks, it attracts respect. People understand, even without knowing how to explain it. And that's exactly why many men report an increase in attention from women, which leads us to something even more intriguing. Has this connection between appearance and retention already been observed by great thinkers in history? Few people know, but some of the greatest thinkers in history already observed the effects of sexual energy on men's appearance and vigor. Aristotle, for example, already spoke of the relationship between vitality and the conservation of the male essence. Centuries later, the French Dr. Tizot wrote about the harm of frequent masturbation, associating it with physical and mental weakening. They were not mystical hunches, they were clinical, empirical observations, repeated over time. Ancient wisdom has always respected vital energy. In many cultures, from India to the ancient Romans, the most respected men were those who knew how to control their impulses. Buddhist monks, Spartan warriors, Taoist masters, they all guarded this energy like a treasure. Today, it may seem strange for someone to talk about it so seriously, but anyone who experiences the effects understands that there is something big here. And the personal testimonies, in their thousands on the internet, only confirm this ancient discovery. One man, for example, reported that after 40 days of semen retention, he began to notice that women looked at him differently, even without him trying to attract attention. Another said that after years of being ignored, he began receiving compliments about his voice, his natural smell, and even his smile, all without changing anything other than retention. These reports are valuable because they show that the transformation is real and tangible. In fact, if you are in doubt, do the test yourself. Register photos on the first day and compare with your face after 30 days of retention. Notice the look, the posture, the serenity. You can also write a diary of experiences. How you feel, how people treat you, how your relationship with the mirror changes. Over time, you will notice that there is a you that only appears when your energy is full. And this is not learned in school, but in practice. Curious to think that the ancients knew this without needing modern studies, right? They just observed the natural world and learned from it. And speaking of nature, there is a powerful analogy that helps us understand this rejuvenation process through semen retention even better. What I'm explaining here is much more detailed in my ebook, The Power of Semen Retention. There is a simple step-by-step guide for you to apply in your everyday life. It's really worth it. If we look closely at nature, it teaches more about semen retention than many books out there. Take flowers, for example. Some species bloom quickly, flower early and die soon. Others bloom later, but last longer, with beauty and vigor for much longer. Retention is similar to this second group. It's like preserving internal freshness, instead of spending everything right away. The man who learns to flourish with consciousness lasts longer, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Plants that reproduce early generally have a short cycle. They put all their energy into immediate multiplication, but they pay with their lives. Centuries-old trees grow slowly, invest in their roots, and only bear fruit when they are ready. This applies directly to the biology of man. When he ejaculates frequently, it forces the body to expend energy in a hurry. When he retains, he allows the root, that is, the basis of his being, to strengthen. This analogy helps us see semen retention not as deprivation, but as cultivation. The man who cultivates his energy becomes a complete being, with depth, with presence. He doesn't need to chase validation. He is like a leafy tree. People naturally come closer to him because his energy conveys security and stability. Meanwhile, the man who lives in constant ejaculation is like a busy bush, noisy but rootless. A good practical exercise is to start observing nature with this symbolic perspective. Note how slow cycles tend to generate longer-lasting fruits. See how the tree that gives the most shade is precisely the one that grew in silence. Ask yourself, am I living like a hurried plant or like an ancient tree? This type of reflection changes your behavior, your rhythm, and even your relationship with time. Whoever retains, matures. Whoever matures attracts what is solid. And it is precisely in this silent maturity that something powerful is born, control over one's own thoughts. Because there is no point in holding back physically if the mind continues to be invaded by desires and fantasies. And then we enter an even deeper aspect of this journey. The mind is the real battlefield of semen retention. Many men think it's all about physical control, but they ignore that thoughts have as much power as actions. Every fantasy, every libidinous mental image, is like a virus invading the system. At first, it seems harmless. But little by little, these ideas drain energy, take away focus, and prepare the ground for a relapse. Controlling the body without controlling the mind is like trying to stop a fire by blowing out the smoke. Mental discipline begins the moment you become the guardian of your imagination. This means filtering what enters your eyes and ears. It also means observing your own thoughts carefully, and redirecting them when necessary. It's not easy, but it's trainable. A powerful technique is conscious image replacement. Whenever a sexual fantasy arises, visualize a long-term goal, a symbol of power, or even an image of your ideal self. Little by little, your mind learns that there is something more valuable than immediate pleasure. Another essential point is to reduce exposure to triggers. This includes social media, movies, even conversations that fuel vulgarity. A man committed to semen retention treats his mind like a temple. He knows that a clear mind is fertile ground for creativity, intuition, and clarity. And when he connects with this clarity, everything changes. Decisions become easier, focus deepens, and the desire to return to old habits simply disappears. If you want to apply this in practice, start with 10 minutes of absolute silence daily. No music, no cell phone, just you with your thoughts. Notice what images emerge, what patterns are repeated, and with every impure thought, consciously choose another path. Also use powerful affirmations, such as, "I master my mind," or "My thoughts build my destiny." It seems simple, but this type of exercise is a game changer for those who take semen retention seriously. And that's precisely when we begin to realize something even deeper: the power to redirect all that energy to areas of life that really matter. Because energy is like a limited resource, and whoever learns to allocate it wisely reaps results that go far beyond what they see in the mirror. Life is, in the end, a matter of where we put our energy. Everything you do, feel, or create depends on how you manage this invisible resource. The theory of energy allocation shows that, by practicing semen retention, a man stops wasting energy on fleeting pleasures and starts directing it towards concrete goals. It's like stopping pouring water into leaky buckets and starting watering a plant that bears fruit. The body understands this and responds with more energy, strength, and clarity. Ever noticed how, on days when you're focused and retaining, your productivity skyrockets? The brain seems sharper, ideas flow, self-confidence grows. This happens because the energy that was previously sucked up by impulses is now available for action. And the most incredible thing, you start to do more with less effort. This is what we call a high-performance state. And, contrary to what many think, it is not born from desperate effort, but from intelligent discipline. Don't leave it for later. Click on the first pinned comment, purchase the ebook, and start changing your energy, your mind, and your life today. Men who understand this stop living on autopilot. They wake up early, eat well, train, study, produce, and rest with purpose. Not because it has become fashionable, but because the body demands it when it is full of vital energy. Semen retention transforms men into strategic beings. He no longer distributes his energy to any stimulus. He selects. He chooses. And this choice is what differentiates the average from the exceptional. If you want to apply this practically, set clear goals and link your retention to those goals. Example, I'm going to keep 30 days of retention to write my book, or I want to reach 90 days to launch my personal project. Make your energy have a destination, a mission. Without this, it becomes stagnant, and stagnant energy turns into anxiety, frustration, and relapse. Channel with intention, like directing a river to generate electricity. And when this energy begins to produce concrete results, beauty, magnetism, and vitality become just side effects. The focus changes. You stop being driven by the desire to attract and start being guided by the desire to create. And that is exactly where the greatest power of retention lies, the ability to become the author of one's own reality. But this is just the beginning. Now that you understand the hidden power behind semen retention, the question remains, what are you going to do with this knowledge? Are you going to let this wisdom pass by like just another video, or are you going to put it into practice and see the transformation happen with your own eyes? Because one thing is certain, no one is ever the same again after experiencing their true energy being used with purpose. How many days of your life have you wasted by not understanding this before? And how many more are you willing to lose? What is stopping you from entering a cycle of evolution where your body, your mind, and your appearance align in a natural and powerful way? The time to turn the key is now, not next week, not after the next slip-up. Imagine looking in the mirror and seeing a stronger, more confident, more handsome man, and knowing that all of this came from within. The choice is yours. You can continue on autopilot, or you can take the wheel with full force. And if you felt like this video opened your eyes, then don't keep it to yourself. Like the video now, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because this is just the beginning of a journey that could completely change your life. Starting today, you will no longer need to seek external validation. You will emanate presence. It will attract respect. You will achieve goals. But it all starts with a simple decision. Hold on to what strengthens you and let go of what weakens you. So tell me, are you ready to become the best version of yourself?